All right, welcome to 5-6. This is the last lesson. So we just did fill in the blank equations, which is we're kind of use today in input and output tables. And then the next lesson, this is wrong. The next lesson is going to be a test, because then you're done with the chapter. Okay? So today's objectives, we'll be able to create an input-output table using a rule, and we're going to be able to plot the points that are contained in an input-output table. You should have done input-output tables back in chapter 4. Okay, so it shouldn't be quite new, unless you just joined us this trimester. Okay, so for this first one, we're going to evaluate the expression when given the value for x. So it's 5 times x. So in this first one, 5 times x. So in this first one, x is going to be 2. So I'm going to plug that in for that x. I tried highlighting in blue, but didn't really work. So I'm going to say 5 times, and instead of x, I'm going to substitute it. I'm going to replace it, plug it in. I'm going to plug in 2. So 5 times 2 is 10. Okay, now this time x is 5. So we're just taking that x and we're just plugging it in for this x here. So I'm going to still keep the 5 times. So 5 times x, x is 5, so 5 times 5, which is 25. If you need to use your multiplication table, you can do that. Okay, last one, x is 9. So we're going to say 5 times 9, which is 45. Ooh. Sorry, my voice is still rough. Okay. So now we're going to create the table using the rule, and then we're going to graph our results. So we're going to fill in the table by replacing x with each input. So over here on the side, I'm just going to write down what we're going to be doing. So these are my x's, and I'm just going to put those in for that x there. So I'm going to have 2 times, and this first one, my x is 1. So 2 times 1 is 2. Then this next one, I'm going to do 2 times 2. So I'm just taking this x here, and I'm putting it in for this x. Right there. So 2 times 2 is 4. Now I have 2 times 3, and 2 times 3 is going to be 6. Now I have 2 times 4, because that's my new x, and 2 times 4 is 8. So we're just taking these numbers here and plugging them in for x. Okay, so now I'm going to graph these points. I need to get all the way up to 8 is my biggest number. I think I have enough, but we need to make sure that we're going to count by. So if I count by ones, it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I can get there. So on the x-axis, we're going to count by ones. And on the y-axis, we're going to count by ones. Okay, so remember this first line here is 0. And remember, we're going to label the lines. So this next line is 1. This line is 2. This line is 3. This line is 4, this line is 5, this line is 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And same thing on the y-axis, we're going to just count by 1. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So now I plot these points. So I have 1, 2. So that means I'm going to go right 1 on the x, because this is the x-axis, this is the y-axis. So I'm going to go right 1, up 1, 2. And then I have 2, 4. So I'm going to go right 2, up 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we have 3, 6. So we're going to go right 1, 2, 3, up 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The last one is 4, 8. So we're going to go right 1, 2, 3, 4, up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, and there's our first example. We're not going to connect the lines yet. We're just going to leave it quite just as dots. Okay, number 2, we're going to create the table using this rule. Then we're going to graph the results. So again, we're going to replace this x. That's step number 1. Fill in the table by replacing x with each input. Okay, so I'm going to do 32 divided by 2. If I don't know that answer, I'm going to use my multiplication table. I'm going to find 2. I find 32, and then it's 16. Okay, so that's going to be 16. Then I'm going to do 32 divided by 4. If I don't know that, use your multiplication table. 32 divided by 4 is 8. Then I have 32 divided by 8. That's just backwards, so now that's 4. And then 32 divided by 16, and that's 2. Okay, so now this time I have to get up to 16. So if I look back at my last table chart, I can only get up to 10. So I can't count by ones because otherwise 16 is going to be way down here. So I'm going to think 10 times 2 is 20. So if I do get to 20, will that be good enough? And the answer would be yes, because I only have to get to 16. So I'm going to count by 2's on both, because on both of these I have to get to 16. That's my biggest number. So I look at my biggest number, 16. So I have to get to 16. 10 times 2 is 20, so I can count by 2's. So on my x-axis here, I'm going to start with 0 still. And then I'm going to count by, this first line would be 2, then 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. Okay, and then we're going to do the same thing up. So this is 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. And that's my y. Okay, so my first point here is 216. Now what's really nice is these are all even numbers, so I should be able to see them. So 216 is going to go right to the 2, but I only really go over 1. And then we go to 16. So it goes 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. Okay, now I have 4, 8. So I go right to the 4 and then up to the 8. Okay, now I have 8, 4. So I'm going to go right 8 up to 4. And 16, 2. So I go right to 16 up to 2. Okay. Next page. Okay, so now this one we're going to fill in this table by replacing x again. So again, this time it's x times 4. So we're going to take this 4 and we're going to do 4 times 4. If you need to use your multiplication chart, you can. 4 times 4 is 16. Then we're going to have x is first, so 5 times 4. 5 times 4 is 20. 6 times 4 is 24. And then 7 times 4 is 28. So now this time, on the x-axis, I only have to get up to 7. So on the x, I can count by ones because I know there's 10. So I'm going to do that. So just on the x. So I'm going to do 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now I know there's 10 here. If I count by 2's, 10 times 2 is 20. I'm not going to get all the way to 28. So I'm going to think 10 times 3. 10 times 3 is 30. So will I get there? Yep. So I'm going to count by 3's. If you want to write a 3 there instead of the actual word, that's fine. So I'm still going to start at 0. Now what's really nice is you have your multiplication chart. So if you don't know how to count by 3's, you can look at your multiplication chart and look, it's 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27, 30. Okay, so if you need to look at this, you can. Otherwise, you just skip counts. You think 0, 1, 2, 3. So my first one's 3. 4, 5, 6. So I just count 3 times. 7, 8, 9. 10, 11, 12. 13, 14, 15. 16, 17, 18. 19, 20, 21. 22, 23, 24. 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Okay, so here we go. Our first one is 4, 16. So I'm going to go right to 4. Now notice there is no 16 here. So I'm going to think, which one is 16 between? 16 is between 15 and 18. So to go 15, 16, 17, 18. So 16 is a little bit closer to the 15. So it's not on the line exactly. It's on this line, but it's not on that line or that line. It's in the middle. Okay, next we have 5, 20. So I'm going to go right to 5, and I'm going to go, well, 20 is not on here either. So I think 20 is between 18 and 21. So go 18, 19, 20. So it's a little bit closer to 21 than it is to 18. Okay, 6 and 24. So I can go right 6. Now 24 is on here, so I can go to 24. That works. And then 7, 28. So 7, and then I think 27, 28, 29. So 28 is a little bit closer to 27. Okay, there you go. All right, last one. Again, we're going to fill in these x's for this 3. So first is 3, so we're going to do 3 divided by 3. 3 divided by 3 is 1. Then we have 6 divided by 3, which is 2. Then 9 divided by 3, which is 3. And then 12 divided by 3, which is 4. Okay, so on the x-axis, if I look at my x's, that's this column here, I have to get to 12, so I can't count by ones. So if I think 10 times 2, that's 20. Does that cover 12? It does, so I'm going to count by 2's. On the y-axis, I just have to get up to 4. So I can definitely just count by ones, because that's counting by ones, I'd get to 10. Okay, so on the x-axis, I'm counting by 2's. So 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Okay, and then up here, I'm going to count by ones, is what I said on my y-axis. So I'm just going to go 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Remember to count the lines. Okay, so I have 3 1s. So I'm going to go right 3. Oh, there's no 3 here. So I'm going to think 3 is between 2 and 4. It goes 2, 3, 4. So 3 is right in the middle. And then up to 1. Then I have 6, 2. So there is a 6 here, so I'm going to go to that line, and then up to 2. Then I have 9, 3, so I'm going to go right to 9. 9 is between 8 and 10, and I'm going to go up 1, 2, 3. Then I have 12, 4, so I'm going to go right to 12, and then up 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? All right. Summary. An input-output table is another way to represent ordered pairs. But remember, ordered pairs is like the XY. Okay, so remember this is XY. Okay, we read the table horizontally when we look at it. When creating an input-output table using a rule, we plug in values for X, also known as substituting, to find the value of Y. We need to blank by another number on the x-axis. We need to count. I can't remember what that word was for a second. Count by another number on the x and y-axis depending on the table. So other than 1. So you need to count by 2's or 1's or sometimes by 3's. Okay? And that is it. Good job. You finished chapter 5. Do the practice work and the review, and then you have the test.